Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Mike Chua, physical therapist. And yes, I'm your alternative healthcare career coach for today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to transition from being a PTA, physical therapist assistant, to being a business owner with Larry Hernandez. Okay, we'll be back in a few seconds.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
Good evening, my Facebook friends. Well, anyway, if you're watching live, comment live. Watching on the replay, comment replay. I'm sorry we're a little bit late, but we are here now. As you can see, I just got home from we had a very busy day. You know? I had a full caseload. I saw 3 patients, two evaluations, and 1 treatment today. Well, anyway, before we keep on going, can you see what I'm putting up here? Where the focus goes, the power flows. Says here, where the focus goes, the power flows. That's a very good quote there. I don't know who wrote this, but it's a daily calendar that we have here. Wherever your focus is, that's where you get magnified. So you're focusing on the good, guess what? The good will be magnified. You focus on the bad will be magnified. So whatever you're focusing on is going to get magnified. And same thing in therapy. We have patients who like to complain about, I'm weak. Guess what? That's going to be magnified. And if I have patients in therapy, like, oh, even though they're weak, they keep on saying they're going to be strong. Hey, guess what? They're going to be stronger. They're going to get better. So where the focus goes, the power flows. All right. Where did that go? And of course, before I keep on going, don't forget medbridgeeducation.com. Use our code alternative to get 40% discount, the big 40, not 10, not 20, not 30, but the big 40% discount. Make sure to use the code alternative. I see people who are commenting. Sue, thank you very much, Miss Sue, for watching. Appreciate you. Thank you. You gotta check out Sue. We have this upcoming conference. All right, and then of course, Okiki. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you. And again, for those people who are watching on a replay or either YouTube or podcast, check out medbridgeeducation.com. Okay, you get 40% discount. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let me introduce our guest for tonight. His name is Larry Hernandez. I guess the Hernandez. We got a lot of Hernandez in the Philippines. So he's a licensed physical therapist assistant. I've been asking him this. Hey, man, how did you transition from being a PTA to owning your business, owning your own outpatient, owning your own clinic, owning your own business? And we're going to ask him how he did this. So he's actually a LPTA, licensed physical therapy assistant. He has this FMS title behind his name. He has SFMA. We're going to ask him that later. And a dry needling expert too. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Bring in Mr. Larry Hernandez. Larry, what's going on? Where you at?
Hey.
Here you are. All right, man. Could you please tell us again who you are? What do you really do? And I mean, how did you transition? I'm running out of English. Speaking of English, I'm running out of English because English is not my first language, and I've got haters now. I don't know if you've seen those haters in my page. I got haters that that I don't have to start. I don't need to do Facebook Live or videos if I speak Tagalog, my language. So
well, I know one phrase in Tagalog.
I don't know, man. If we're running out of English, it's way past my English time. I'm not speaking in tongues, but I'm just running out of English, man. So again, could you please tell us who you are, man? What do you do, and how can you help us find our alternative career, or how can we change our mindset from being a PTA to a business owner? Could you please share us that, Larry?
Man, a lot to answer. I'm Larry Hernandez, and I own a outpatient physical therapy clinic here in the Richardson, Texas area. Richardson, Texas, which is the DFW area, so Dallas, Texas. I do know one phrase in Tagalog, Mike, and that's nakapakalumbaba. And my Filipino physical therapist friend taught me that, and it's the only phrase I know. But mine, the way I did that was I hired a mentor to start my business, and also just making the decision to do it. Right, that was like the biggest thing. I asked people in my life that were, my wife, number one, who was my number one supporter, and the number one encourager. I asked her, like, hey, I have this inkling to start my own business. I actually had the inkling for about 3 years. I took an entrepreneur class in 2017 through a company called Active Life RX, which they help CrossFitters get out of pain. And I was a former, or I do CrossFit myself, and I had got really interested in their program, and I went through it myself as a client, and then I was like, man, I do physical therapy, and here I am hiring this entrepreneurial class to teach me how I got out of pain. Me being practicing physical therapy at that time, I'd been practicing 10 years, and here I am asking still others for help on how I need to fix myself with my CrossFit stuff. And so in 2017, I took that entrepreneurial class, and it started a snowball effect and a desire to want to start my own company. And then in 2020, at the height of COVID, while people were losing jobs and having trouble keeping their jobs because of all the COVID situation, and businesses closing left and right, I was leaving my comfortable salary job as a director of physical therapy at a large what's called a CCRC, a continuum care retirement community. So they had short-term rehab, long-term rehab, home health. It was a large campus, real comfortable job, and I was there for 12 years, and just made the decision. Like I said, though, people in my life helped me make that decision. So it was through a lot of prayer. Here at our church, we're in small community groups where people are in our lives and involved, and so just talk to the guys and gals in my community group, and one of them, two of them at the time, are entrepreneurs themselves, two different businesses, not healthcare, but one he has an entertainment business here in the DFW area, and the other has a man, I don't know how to explain it, but this guy is talented. He does interior design and contracting here in the DFW area. Edwin Rodriguez, just a little shout out. But those two guys just encouraged me to just it can be done, right? They were entrepreneurs and encouraged me, like, hey man, you can do it. You're talented, and so just it took just people affirming those thoughts, in that decision. So hope that answers that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. But before I keep on going, ladies and gentlemen, I like what Larry said. First thing he said, he hired a mentor. You don't have to hire, but you need to find one. You need to find a mentor that will tell you, hey, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. Like a no holds bar person that will tell you, they're not going to tell you sweet stuff because you just paid them, because you paid them because you paid them. They're going to tell you good stuff because you paid them. But somebody that will really be your accountability part, you have to find someone like that. Second, the thing that he said, I'm writing things down, actually, ladies and gentlemen. Prayers, whatever faith that you believe in, you got to find, you got to do that. There's power in declaring faith. Okay. Whether you're a Christian or whatever, I don't know what Larry's, denomination is. You need to find a person that will pray over for you, because there's power in that declaration. There's power in community. There's power in the groups. Okay. And then I like what he said here. He was surrounding himself with people who are actually winning. You got to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who will believe in you and encourage you and empower you. That's the goal. All right. I like what Larry's saying here. So thank you very much, Larry.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Larry said that Kara was is it his or her? We don't have a his. I get confused with the his or her. Okay. So Larry, so not, with the nowadays you got the his or her whatever
Yeah,
you call that, right? So Larry, Kara is your mentor, TBB, right?
she was, yeah, yeah.
She
I
was your
hired her
mentor.
I hired her for a year to be my mentor, and I was in her. I guess it's called the Therapy Business Builder
Yep.
program,
Mm-hmm.
next level OT. And well, what I will say is that like she was an OT. Sometimes people are like, "Well, I need to hire a PT um, to help teach me how to run my business," but she was an OT, and she's very talented, and just helped me get started. There's also many people within that mentorship. You were part of it. Anthony Meritato was part of it. Helped me with Medicare. I saw Sue Doyle just commented. I believe she's part of it now. And so it was a great mentorship program that I went through to help me kind of just learn things. So yeah,
It's very important that you have those mentors and people that will actually guide you and empower and enable you and just bring out the best in you. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate you. Sue just posted up something like this. It's like a Philip. I don't know how she did this. So she wrote it in
yeah, I see
Tagalog.
that. Yeah.
So I don't know. Sue, I know. I thought you were Australian. So now you're a Filipino too. Well, anyway, I want to translate what Sue said. Don't worry about those haters. Just keep on doing what God is asking you to do. And thank you, Sue, for everything. All right, so let's go back to Larry. Larry, so you got your mentors, right? You got your mentor. You got TBB. You got Sue. You got Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. I'll be going to his place next week. I'll be meeting him up, which we're going to Ohio anyway, and also Kim. So you got your mentors. Obviously you paid mentors. There are paid and unpaid mentors. So what's the next step that you did? I assume you took action.
Yeah, took action.
Were you
Started
afraid?
one of the big things that Kara encouraged me to do is to get out there and be known. So go do some hustle marketing and go meet people, tell people what you're doing. And what I'll say is that like those are where your referrals are going to come in. That's where your business is going to come in. It's going to be the friends and the family initially, your local businesses. I went to senior living facilities that I had done work for, started telling people that I'd worked with over the years and just said, "Hey, I'm doing this. If you know anybody that needs therapy, tell them to holler at me." And so that was my first thing, was just getting out there and telling people what I was doing, right? And so initially, I wasn't Medicare credentialed and was just doing cash paid visits. But when I did get Medicare credentialed, I was able to start taking Medicare clients as well. But yeah, even to this day, I got a good mix of just Medicare people, cash pay people. Just get out there and tell people what you are doing is probably the first thing I would say to do. So.
Hmm. Was it hard changing from being having a steady salary and then starting up your own? Was that hard? I mean, it was hard for me because I got fired. So, how about yours? I
Yeah, I've
mean,
heard your story. I've heard your story.
so
Yeah,
was it
it was
hard, man, or was it easy, or you were already known in the community? I mean, mine. I mean, I wasn't known in the community. It's a different thing because I'm not really from here. So
mhm.
yeah, was it difficult or is easy or how did that
Oh,
go?
so easy, so easy.
Mhm.
No, just kidding. It was definitely hard and discouraging in the beginning because you're gonna see people. Oh, there's Sam commenting. Uh, Sam's a great guy too. He's local here, but just man, I lost my train of thought there when I saw that comment come up. What was your question again, Mike? Sorry.
Yeah, Sam, stop commenting there. You're just disrupting.
I
Just kidding, Sam.
lost my train
But
of thought.
I was asking, was it hard? Was it easy, or
Oh
you already had
yeah,
the set
no.
clients set? that time, or I bet you
No, I
started on
had
your own. How
had
did that?
zero
Because you're
had
a PTA.
zero zero
How did that?
clients.
Mm-hmm.
I had zero clients. I had zero. Um, I did have one therapist, a PT, that was willing to do my evaluations. And so, me being a PTA, that was a big bridge that I needed to kind of cross. And so, I had one PT that was like, "Yeah, I'll do your evaluations," you know. And so, I had an established relationship with a PT that was willing to kind of partner with me and help me get started. And so, but that was hard too, just kind of, hey, I'm a PTA, and the kind of stigma of like, oh, you're a PTA, and how are you going to have your own business, you know? But it's possible. Actually, the first time I heard about a PTA owning a PT business was on the Dave Ramsey show, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't know a PTA could own a business, and I didn't think about that. But also, I would say, hey, there's people that are not clinicians that own businesses, so it shouldn't be about you being a PTA or a CODA or a speech therapist. There are people out there that are not clinicians running therapy businesses. And so that definitely shouldn't be a barrier. But that was a big mindset change that I had to overcome. And so just, you know, that was the first step, was getting a PT to do my evaluations. And I had zero clients. And yeah, my first client was a couple of cash paid people. And I just had my PT do the eval, and I did the follow up visits. And luckily, here in Texas, practice law is pretty lenient, and so just was able to treat them. You know, and I started off with no. Now I have a brick and mortar clinic. It's about 1,400 square feet, but
Wow.
then it was just me and my truck, driving around seeing people. I was working a little bit of home health part time with the company that I was formerly working for, and so I had a good relationship with them, and they hired me, even though, like, you know, I was leaving as director. They still hired me to help with home health. And so I wasn't going to work on campus anymore because they didn't want people going on and off campus because of COVID at the time. And so I was like, well, I need to be off campus, so I would rather do the home health. And they said, yeah, no problem. And then I, you know, also looked up a couple other home health um, companies here local. Actually, Sam, the guy that popped on here earlier, he's a local home health contractor guy, and yeah, he is a great contact to work for as well. I never worked for him, but I worked for a couple other ones, and I met him through some of those, and just now we do kind of partnership stuff together. And yeah, so just, you know, working a little bit of part time, working a little bit of my business, and just I slowly transition out of kind of working for home health companies, even though I still do a little bit here and there, just because I enjoy treating the patients, and sometimes it's a great opportunity to meet patients and meet other clinicians. I'd still do it on a time to time basis because I get reached out to all the time. Because here in the DFW area, home health is just really, really busy. So if
Mm.
you are a clinician and you need some work, come to the DFW area. There's not a shortage of it, that's for sure. So
Let me ask you a question. I know it's a crazy question, right? What is
yeah,
DFW area? Is that like Dallas, whatever?
Dallas, Fort
Dallas.
Worth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
yeah, so they
So is
refer to the
this
Dallas
like
area as the DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth
is this
complex,
like the
like
main
Metroplex.
city or the big one, or just like, for example,
Well,
here
well,
Nashville? Mhm.
yeah, so like here, Dallas and Fort Worth are kind of the larger cities, and then you got a bunch of suburbs around those cities. Of course, the
Mm.
Dallas Cowboys are actually in Arlington, which is kind of between Fort Worth and Dallas, and is just as big. But like my clinic's in Richardson, which I'm like 1 or 2 miles from Dallas. Dallas is kind of weird; it kind of snakes
Mhm.
around some of the land, and around that land there's small little suburbs. Like
Mhm.
my new home is in North Dallas, but I can go 2 miles in any direction and be in a different city. So I can go 2 miles north and be in Plano. I can go 2 miles west and be in Carrollton, 2 miles east be in Richardson, 2 miles south and be in Addison. And so
Wow.
there's just a lot of little suburbs
Mhm.
around Dallas. And
Wow.
so
In 2 miles,
uh,
huh? Mm.
yeah, all within 2 miles. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm in kind of a weird area where
Mm.
it's like Dallas just kind of snuck up between these suburbs, you
Mhm.
know? So,
Yeah, I bet it's really nice. I've been to Dallas once. It's very, very nice, progressive area. Actually, so good. And even Houston. I finished my doctorate there, by the way, at San Antonio, Texas. So we went to
Mhm.
Dallas. Just was just amazing to look at. We're here in Tennessee. I grew up in the Philippines, so everything was small to me. And then I went to Texas. It's like everything is big. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
there's this Mia Lynch said, "Thank you, Larry, for your support and empowerment to believe that I can have an outpatient clinic as a PTA." There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually helped
Mhm.
her. She's a PTA. She's a certified lymphedema therapist, and she was one of my PTA contractors. And I
Mhm.
don't see people who work for me. I don't see them as like competition. If someone has a desire to start their own business, I'm not like trying to like, hey, let me just keep you down there so you're working for me. But if you're because you're a great clinician, I just want to keep you where you're at. If someone has the aspirations to start their own business, I've mentored a few PTAs um, since starting my own business, and so Mia was
There
one
you
of
go.
them. Yeah,
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 instead of competing, you collaborate. That's the goal. Even
yeah.
with the TBB, the alternative career group that we have, the uncaged clinician, the SSPT, the SSHC, we got different groups. We don't compete against each other. We collaborate and we bring out the best in each other in other people too. So that's great. You're not thinking about scarcity, you're thinking about abundance mentality. That is so amazing,
That's
Larry.
right.
All right, before I keep on going, speaking of that, we are going to go on a quick break, okay? We'll be back with Larry Hernandez.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
All right, welcome back to our Alternative Healthcare Career Show. We are here with Larry Hernandez, but before I bring him back, check it out, hellonote.com. Use it for your electronic medical record, electronic medical documentation system. I'm running out of English, man. So anyway, we got Larry Hernandez. He's a PTA. He was a director of the rehab in one facility there in Texas, and he decided to start his own business. And we just wanted to bring him here, how he could encourage people that they can also do this. If he can do it, obviously not all people can do it, but if he can do it, other people can do it. You can do it too, and that's the goal. So we could encourage you, empower you, and equip you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Larry Hernandez again. Where you are, Larry? There you are. Larry, you mentioned the word mindset. Could you please tell us more about that? I mean, did it made you a very big mindset shift, or you already had that desire in you that you knew deep inside that you wanted more? Because a lot of people in the group, I know they have potential, and they just get stuck from that analysis paralysis. But did you really already have the desire, or you knew that deep inside you still have more in you?
Oh man, I think mindset's a constant thing. So I think it starts initially with just having that desire to want to do more and to have purpose in your life, right? And so that you're just not working in a place where you don't enjoy, right? Granted, I enjoyed where I was working, but I just desired more, right? I wanted to be able to do more, and so I had desires to treat different types of patients, not just what I was doing. I was doing senior geriatrics, and so I was a CrossFitter person, and just I liked working in the fitness industry, and I actually run a ministry where it's fitness and faith. It's called Christ Fit Unashamed here in the Dallas area, and so just
Wow.
had a desire to do more, and that was just and it's a constant mindset. Whenever I'm hitting barriers where it's like I'm getting discouraged. and not seeing the fruit of what I'm doing, right? And just listening to, the word, which is the Bible, we're Christian, and also just reaching out to people, listening to things that I know are going to change my mindset, to be a better leader, be a better entrepreneur. But it's just constant, I mean, just even this last month, I moved from a smaller clinic to a larger clinic, and I had to do that awful thing that you may have had to do, is do a change of information form with Medicare. And so that means you have to hold your claims, and you really have to trust the Lord that, hey, Medicare is going to approve it soon, and you can start submitting your claims again. But I had to hold my claims for like 2 weeks, and in my head I was like, man, I can only hold my claims. Well, I was saying, I told myself I'm preparing to hold my claims for a month. I probably had payroll to cover a month or two, for my staff, but I was like, man, I really need, I had to really trust in the Lord, and just, that was another mindset thing. It was just like, hey, trust in the Lord um, with that situation, right? One of the things that we're talking about this week in my community group, and also at Christ Fit, was just abide, and that just means to obey, and trust the Lord that it's gonna work out, and even if it doesn't work out, that, like, one of our pastors used to always say is like, answer that question, what if, and then answer that question, what if again, and then what if again, and then at the core of it, what you're really worried about, and then maybe that's being a failure at the very end of it. But you're not going to be a failure, if you continue to just persevere. So yeah.
I love that. I love that, ladies and gentlemen. I love what he said here. You got to desire more, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, contentment is good. There's nothing wrong being content, but even the Bible itself, Larry, I like what he said. He's not ashamed, and I'm not ashamed too. That we're not perfect. No, nobody's perfect. I sin every day, and I ask for
Mhm.
forgiveness every single day. That's why you got to be born again, right? And
Yeah.
we're not perfect, but you got to desire more, ladies and gentlemen. And I know deep inside, if you're a therapist right now, you're PT or PTA, I know deep inside that you got something more inside of you that you want to do. The reason why you're burned out, the reason why you're upset in your setting right now, because I know deep inside you want to serve more and be more to take care of your patient. And one way for you to be able to be more, do more, is getting out of your comfort zone. And that's what Larry did.
Mhm.
His comfort zone was the facility he was working at, and he has to get out of that comfort zone. And then I like what he said here, trust in the Lord, walk by faith, not by sight. And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith, and you just do it. It's like what Nike did, just like what Larry did.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just have to do it, ladies and gentlemen. And
Yeah.
we get stuck in this analysis paralysis, Larry, right? And it's not going to take you anywhere. I'm going to tell you now this in a nice way, but for those people who are watching live, if you keep on analyzing that you're waiting for that perfect timing, it's not going to come. It's not going to come. Larry started this business in the middle of crisis. So in the middle of crisis lies an opportunity, and Larry saw that opportunity. You got to find that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and bring back Larry. Larry,
Mhm.
I'm going to ask this last question before I let you go. I know you're very busy too, man. I know you're at the clinic. You want to go home. I just got home too. But what is your biggest challenge, and how did you turn this around, man? Both as a person or as a therapist. So, what is your biggest failure or challenge, and how did you turn this around? So, well, shout out to Anthony. Thank you,
Yeah,
Anthony.
Anthony. My
Anthony, I'll see
biggest
you next
challenge.
week.
Oh
Okay.
man, my biggest challenge right now is just continuing to build the business and not working it so much, so that I can work on it. So right now I'm in the process of just trying to hire full-time staff. That's probably my biggest challenge right now. But it's a good challenge, right? And so I'm excited about that as we continue to grow. Former challenges would just probably just be discouragement in the midst of, maybe as you're climbing and trying to get your business going, and losing hope, right? And so, like I said, I think that's the biggest challenge that you have to overcome. And it's going to come with having people around you, whether that's a mentorship you hire, or community around you. A church community is what I use, but get some friends, get some colleagues that will partner with you to encourage you, right? And so, and just people that you can truly trust, that's what really matters. So,
Mm, I love that. I love that, Larry. You know what? Every time I do a Facebook Live like this or an interview or whatever, I always ask that question. And you know what? They always have a positive reply back to it. People who I ask that question, they will say, I got this big challenge, but I know it's a good challenge. I got this
yeah,
failure, but I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a lesson learned. So that's what you need to be, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you're going through, there's always a lesson behind it. And I like what Larry said here, right? Biggest challenge is a good challenge. And some of the challenges that he had is discouragement, losing hope, but he never ended with that phrase there. He said he counteracted with, you got to find mentorship, a community, people that you can trust, ladies and gentlemen.
hmm
That's very important, ladies and gentlemen. You have to find that mentor, that person that you can trust. People I can trust: Anthony, Kara,
yeah,
Sue, a lot of people that I trust. And it's not all bed. It's not all. Is it bed of roses? It's not all good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Having a business is not all good stuff. I
yeah.
stressed out about it, like what Larry does. And just today, a therapy clinic owner called me. He said, Michael, I just sold my practice. 15 years. He sold his practice and he's moving to a different state. Was that a good news to me? No. It was discouraging because I'm starting my own practice. I just started last year, our brick and mortar. And here he is, 15 years, doing it. And I'm not going to tell his name, but he said, Michael, I just gave up. I got burned out. So not sometimes, not sometimes, you will encounter a lot of challenges, big failures, but the bigger the challenge, the bigger the victory, ladies and gentlemen. The bigger the failure, the bigger the comeback. And that's what Larry is here to, if you need mentorship, if you're a PTA, reach out to him, talk to him, go to his website. What's his website? Uh, it's right here, On Point MVP. Go to his website. All right, and talk to him. Hey, maybe he can guide you and mentor you too. All right, Larry, any last parting wisdom for our listeners and friends and people who are watching both on the live and the replay? Any last parting wisdom?
No, last parting wisdom. I don't have any wisdom. I just get it from other people, whether get it from another source, and it helps reveal the wisdom within inside of you. So, yeah, that's probably my last parting words. I just came up
And
with
then
that.
where
I
can
don't
they
know.
reach you, Larry?
OnPointMVP.com is my website. They can also reach out to me on my business line, 972-899-3473. They can also email me at info@onpointmvp.com because we're
All
all
right.
MVPs.
All right. MVPs. Is there any, like a most valuable patient player? Is that
So it's a play on words, yeah. So I read this book called The Pumpkin Plan. Great book by Michael Kalowitz. I don't know if you've ever read it, but
mhm.
talks about having a like a search engine optimization kind of word. And MVP was, I was driving by a baseball field and I was like, MVP, what could I make that into an acronym for my company? Because I was like, people search MVP sometimes, and so I thought movement and performance is what I came up
Mm,
with. But then
I
it
see it
also
now.
could be yeah, it could also be a play on words for the most valuable patient, the most valuable practitioner, just the most valuable person, whoever that is. And so it's a play in words, and it's something that I'm going to continue to work on to utilize it in my business. But yeah, it is a play on words, or yeah, yeah. So.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Well, again, thank you very much, Larry. I know you're very busy. I know.
Yeah,
Are you also Central Time? I guess you are in
I'm
Texas, right?
Central Time. Yeah, yep,
Okay, cool.
yep.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Larry. Appreciate you. But before I let you go, ladies and gentlemen, always remember the word fast. FAST. The word fast. It's letter F. Find people that will bring out the best in you, and that's what Larry just said. Find a mentor. It's letter F. All right, letter F. Find people because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Whoever you hang out with, that's going to be you, ladies and gentlemen. Hang out with the MVPs. You're going to be MVP, right? Those even the basketball players. They hang out with those MVPs, the NBA All Stars. Hang out with those All Stars. You'll eventually become an All Star too, right? Just like Larry. I feel like I'm an MVP now. Next letter is letter A. Take action. All this stuff that we're doing is not going to do me good. It's not even going to do Larry good if you don't take action, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Larry did. He got the mentorship, but it's not going to do him good if he doesn't take action, right? So he took action by getting the mentorship and then applying to his life, all right? Next letter is letter S. Is you share and subscribe, right? Share and subscribe on his website, on his YouTube, or his. Do you have Facebook page too, Larry? I assume so. Share and subscribe his Facebook page because the more shares, the better. Especially if you got family members or any clients that needs therapy at the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. I hope I'm saying that right. Right? Shout out to DFW. And then last but not the least is letter T is teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, you're actually understanding it more. And that's what Larry's doing. He's teaching us how to start your own, change your mindset from being a PTA to a business owner. Again, thank you very much, Facebook friends. Be awesome, be great, be excellent. Thank you very much, Larry. Don't go yet. Let me just finish this video. We'll see you again on our future episodes. You have a good night, Facebook friends and YouTube and podcast. Bye-bye.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click